Hello, Gaither Stevens here with you today from the Gulf Coast Partnership. I have a list here of clients, all fake that I made up, but what I want to do today is show you how to pull out unique values into a separate list and then also to count how many times those unique values show up in your original list. This is really handy if you want to find out how many times someone visited a service or used a service at an agency or throughout your COC. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to highlight all the rows that I want to extract data from. And it's okay if there is a title, or if you have titles in your first row, that's fine, this still works. But what I recommend, you can just select the data, but unfortunately if you have like 40,000, 50,000, 80,000 rows, it makes it kind of difficult to go all the way to the bottom to find where the data ends. So I would recommend just selecting the rows you want, and Excel will figure the rest out for you. So once you have your rows selected that you want the data from, you click on Advanced, and then you want to copy to another location. And the location we're going to copy to, we're going to clear this out down here, just backspace out of it from that copy to, and then we're going to click, we'll say right here on E, that first row. Now here's the real magic. You want to click Unique Records Only, and that's going to draw from this list and only draw unique values. So if Bob Ross shows up more than one time in this list, it's only going to get pulled out once. So I click OK. There's my unique list. So as you can see, Bob Ross is only in this list once, while over here he's in multiple times. Bob Ross there, Bob Ross there. So that's how you make a unique list out of a list that has multiple entries. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a we're going to count how many times these individuals show up in our other list. So to do that, you just we can go ahead and we'll call this visits. And then we're just going to click here in a cell that we want to start our numbering. And what we'll do then is go up to the formula bar and hit equals, and we're going to do count. And as you can see, it populates here. And what we want is the count if. Now, if I even hover over, it'll tell you it counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given conditions. So we'll double click that. We get our COUNTIF up here. And now what we're going to want to do is just select the row with the unique data. So the client ID is a unique number. Like, for example, you don't want to use Bob because there might be multiple Bobs, but there's only going to be one person that has the client ID 72434. So we're gonna select the whole row because this will get us all our data, even if there's 80,000 rows. And now we have a range, which is the entire row or entire column of A. So now we're going to do our criteria, which we want it to be when the criteria will be matching the ID. So here we go. This is our range. There's our criteria. I put a in bracket on that, hit enter, 4. We know that Bob Ross shows up 4 times in this list. And as you look, Bob Ross once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So worked perfect. Now I want to populate this list, and I want it to go all the way to the end. Now, many people know that you can click and drag on the corner and populate the rest of the column. But the problem is if you have 30, 40, 80,000 clients, that can take a long time to do it. A nice way to get a Excel column to auto-populate is you hover over the corner like this and double click. And as you can see, I now have the number of times each one of these entries show up on my other list. So for the sake of clarity and making things look good, we will go ahead and select our list here, our rows, and we'll sort. And what I want to do now is I want to find out who visited the most often. So I'll sort my columns on the visits. Rather than smallest to largest, I'll go ahead and do largest to smallest because I want to see who visited the most often. So I've got sort by visits, sort on values, order, largest to smallest. And that visits is, of course, the number of times they show up in the list over here. So I click OK, and voila. Skip Wilson is in this list 8 times. Bob Ross 4, Rick Hunter 4. As you can see, it goes down And that's pretty much it. You can take this. One tip I will give you is if you want to copy and paste this list over to, say, another sheet, if you just try doing like a simple Control V, you're going to get a reference error in Excel. So what I'd recommend doing is going ahead and just right-clicking where you want it and paste special. And then it kind of gives you a nice little preview here to make sure it looks like you want. But I usually do the paste values. And there we go. No reference errors, and everything is just the way I like it. And I can play around with it and make some changes to the way it looks and then send it out. That's it. Hope you had a good time learning this video. Thanks.